Nedbank yabuyela Soweto iPirates yayithatha lento baqedile. Niyakhala nithini? Welcome back, guys. It's another exciting episode. We're going to be talking about everything that has to do with your local football, everything that has to do with what's going on the pitch. Yes, sir. Before we start, guys, before we go anywhere, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. Whenever we drop an episode, you'll get a notification because of that. And for all you guys who keep on supporting, keep on watching my videos, please don't stop. Keep on continuing to support the channel and the podcast as well. Where to start, guys? Where to start? The league is gone. And I keep on saying that every day because I miss it so much. It's done and dusted. It's the cup final now. It's the cup final, and a lot of drama, a lot of things happened. Look, there was a lot of interesting games that we watched. Nedbank. It's been an exciting time to cover this one. Obviously, we're going to have a new champion. The champions were knocked out, which was Mamelodi Sundowns. Previous champions were also knocked out, Kumasemi, which was Kaizer Chiefs once upon a time. So now it's also another current champion against a new, not a current champion, but a former, let me say that, a former one and a new one's on the block as well. So everything about that and more. But before we go there, special shout out to Eric Mulondau. Is it Mulondau Tawa Matoho? Man, we're going to miss you guys. We're going to miss you, man. Tower, Kaizer Chiefs earlier today actually released a statement that they're not extending his contract, but a very beautiful tribute and a farewell for him. It was all over social media. It's been reported. He's not going to be playing for the Kaizer Chiefs team in the following season. For my side, hats off to him. He served the badge very well. Even though we would have liked him for him to leave the club when obviously at a high. But look, to retain such a quality player for so long, I think it's an achievement on their own. In regards to the fact that I think he played 267 games, he won cups, leagues as well. So kudos to him and all the best to his future endeavors. Look, it's going to be hard for me to get natural defenders who are very, I think at the time of his peak, who are very hard tacklers, very disciplined, and natural defender. Like Abona Makubula, if we go back, Abu Cyril Nzama, Abu Patrick Mayo, such very, very quality defenders in our country, not alone with Chiefs Pell, but I believe that it's going to, he's a rare quality. He's a legend. He's one of those that come after every generation. It's just unfortunate, with age, injuries, form as well, change of leadership. He's played, amongst different managers, but he's always been a favorite. And I think he stamped his authority and he stayed for the longest time and he served Kaizer Chiefs well. So we wish you all the best, Eric Tower. And also Mamelodi Sundowns as well. Manager Yaga, Mike McKelme, manager Yaga, Andile Charlie as well. Announced that they are Sundowns is no longer. They are actually mutual. It's on a mutual agreement that he's not. They're not renewing his contract as well. Hey, Mafetu, we're losing legends, man. For me, I understand that obviously age as well, but look. When you look at the quality of players that we are losing now, I hope we're able to replace them. Because when you lose Eric Tower, you lose Abu Andile Charlie, you can look to the future. And I don't know what did you see with Zagalani, but we can only hope we can even get players who can do better than what they did. But I hope they can take inspiration. They can learn from these guys who have actually made football a career and they've stayed for the longest time playing for the biggest clubs in the country and until the end of their careers. I think that's one of the things that we can pride ourselves with. I think that's why we have this kind of moment right now where we have to also shine the light on the players because in the past, players who don't finish their contracts, ill discipline, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and they disappear out of the limelight without not knowing what happened. But in this case, it's something to, I know, because obviously football politics is what we call it, where some would argue that, okay, maybe they could have renewed their contracts from both ends. But look, it's the business of football. Players come in, players come out. Clubs restructure. They're always looking forward to the future as well. So look, it's for me, it's just that conversation that it must be had. But for the sake of the podcast as well, I need to mention just a special shout out to these guys, because they are one of the guys who we've used as a benchmark, especially when it comes to the successes of these teams. Players that have come and gone, we've always used them. They were always part of the conversation, especially contributions to the national team as well. But yes, furthermore, let's get back to that topic at hand. The Nedbank Cup final. Pirates against Sekhukhune. Remember, I told you last week, so we have this conversation. I told you it's a conversation where to be had, because in the league, they were balancing. They were looking at each other, sideways. The other one was playing like this, the other one was playing that. Remember, they had a second round fixture they played. Very dull, was very boring. I covered that match. You can go back to the episode and watch it. I think it's somewhere here. Then also they had other matches, the last round of matches they needed to play. So I also am of the opinion, because of the ambitions, there was a bit of tactical or technical decisions that were, or approaches that were taken in those matches, considering the fact that both teams are preparing for the final. But obviously they had to finish the league based on the ambitions, like I just said, in terms of where they'd like to land on the league, because Pirates was aiming for the CAF spot, which they did it immaculately in style, where I think Sekhukhune as well, but was aiming for the top 8 spot as well. So where to start? So now we're going to look at the tactics as well, but I'm going to focus on the lineup, starting with the Orlando Pirates, right? So look, when it comes to the history for both of these clubs, we can all agree that Pirates comes in with a lot of favor on their side, because they come with a lot of pedigree, a lot of history, heritage when it comes to cup games, when it comes to finals as well, and when it comes to this particular competition. So they come with a lot of experience. Before we get to what currently is going on, that's something we can all agree on. So on paper, or in terms of what we can report out there, you would find that Pirates, now everyone's expectation in our minds, everyone is thinking about it. In the interviews, as we saw, we all are expecting Pirates to go, or to win, basically, to win. But there's a story that I want to bring so that it can allow us to have a very nice conversation, just to remind ourselves and go back in how the seasons are shaped up, right? So I want to start here. Sekhukhune, it's a young team, a lot of experienced players at the same time. Players who have played in the league, never really have won anything, but they have experience in terms of playing in the PSA. And Uprakis as well, the coach. But we'll get to that. Let's start with how these teams managed to get to where they are now. Started, obviously, to qualify for this competition, you just have to be playing in the PSL, because they take this is the first 16 teams combined with, I think, the NFD, as well as the other third tier, where they also have 4 or 3 teams or so, I'm not too sure, where they have to qualify to come to this competition. So all in total, the teams that were actually, who had qualified initially when it all started, we're going back to how it started in the last 32. It was, it started with the last 32, sorry. So starting with Sekhukhune, right? I want to start with Sekhukhune. So they started against Badlala Cape Town. What's my phone doing now? But against I think it was Cape Town Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, just hold on 2 seconds. My phone is doing its own thing now. Imagine when I'm shooting, it's doing its own thing. So I want to take us back. Just hold on. Let's see. Yes. Cape Town City, they played, funny enough, both teams played Cape Town teams. So Pirates in the last 32, they were up against All Stars, which I think they play in the NFD. They won comfortably 2-0 there, even though you could argue Cape Town All Stars gave them a good game. I don't know if you guys watched that game. So we can both agree. For me, I think with that game, Pirates was still a bit shaky. But experience counted in that instance because I think there were also referee decisions that not all of us agreed upon in regards to how they actually went through. But because of experience and playing up against the young team and all this, yeah, we just can agree that they actually were able to come through with the results, so it's fine. Oh yes, yeah, I was right. There are preliminary rounds that you actually play before you play to for some of these teams in the FD, so they can play. So when it comes to Sikukune as well, they played. Where's Sikukune now? Sikukune played against Liver Brothers. Yo, I don't even know that team. I don't even know. I want to lie to you guys. They played against Liver Brothers. They won 6-0 actually. That's a comfortable score, my guy. This is now when Brendan Truter had actually. There's a story that I'm coming with. Bear with me. So I want you to understand that there's a story. I want us to remind ourselves where it started and where we are at the moment, right? Then last 16, both qualified nicely 6-0 and 2-0. Hold on, 6-0, 2-0, right? Based on form and everything that we know, we're gonna get to that. Last 16, they start with Sikukune. Sikukune played against Cape Town Spurs. Now, another Cape Town, which was formerly known as Ajax Cape Town, if some of you guys still remember. 2-0 as well. Comfortable as well. I didn't watch that game, but I actually watched the highlights. Very comfortable as well because they're playing against them. We were expecting them to win, right? Orlando Pirates. Well, think about Chiefs. Orlando Pirates played against Venda Football Academy, I think, VFA. They won 2-1, even though we were expecting them to win. But still, right? Experience, individual brilliance as well. Wasn't a good game, wasn't a comfortable game for them. They should have been winning, but that score, Yabo Sikukune, about 6-0. Now, you were expecting a big win here. Qualified for last 8. Now they meet Dondon Stars, which Pirates won on penalties. Dondon Stars, they played a good game. The goalkeeper, there were a few players that we can agree that, wow, that game was actually, they looked like a better side versus Pirates at the time. But Pirates won on penalties, luckily. You know, they survived. Sikukune won comfortably. They won against Cheaper, 2-1. Both of them qualified for the semis. Now, we know in my previous video, we covered the semis. Pirates was the winner. So it's Derby, they won that. They also didn't play well. But Kaizer Chiefs, but they came with the results. Hold on. Stellenbosch Day, it was a stalemate. Sorry, Sikukune were playing against Stellenbosch. It was a stalemate. Very dull and boring game, to be fair with you. And not a lot of good technical play or tactical play. Both teams were very reserved. Long balls, nani. But I just want to speak about the results. We're not covering that game. 0-0. They won on penalties as well. Now, remember I said they've experienced players. 4-3. Now, this is where we are. This is the deserving teams based on the results. Now, why am I starting here? I want to start with both the makeup of the two coaches. So we have Ujose Riviero. Now, what do we know about these two clubs or these two coaches? Let's start there. So we know Ujose, since first season now, he has an advantage in a sense as apart from the club, Orlando Pirates having been a bigger club than Sikukune. Jose is it's his first season as a coach here in the Premiership. Number 2, he was an assistant coach, a youth coach. Like Abu Atazwani was a youth coach for the longest time, but he comes from Spain. He also was an assistant coach. It was his first time being a head coach for Orlando Pirates. But he comes in, results are not that bad, play is not that bad, he's still adjusting. He won them a cup. You know, round of game season coming on, you could tell that there was something, there was a bit of a spark, but they were not clicking at the time. What happens? He wins them M10-8. Beats Sundowns. Don't forget. Beats Sundowns. You know? Then convincingly the time, let's not forget, convincingly. Brakis, Brendan Truter. Brendan Truter started his, for what we know, he started, I think it's Cape Town All Stars. He was an assistant coach there. He was promoted to be a head coach. He went on to coach Richards Bay, I think. He went on to coach another team before Richards Bay, though. then he actually was given a chance. The Swallows, he got them promoted, and they didn't have a good season the first season. A lot of draws, chop the following season. Then he went to Amazulu. Didn't work out as planned, as you know him. But what we do know that every team that he played, there was an identity. That's what I love, and a philosophy. But anyways, that's the track record. But he has an advantage of over Jose, maybe a season and a half. Ne? Cup games also didn't qualify for the teams that he's been trying though, right? He's been trying, but obviously season come and go, he gets the chop. Goes to Sukukune. Sukukune was struggling at the time. Remember, Sukukune was struggling against Super and this guy McDonald and this guy from Supersport takes over Sukukune, buys a few players, free agents, cast outs, and all these things. Formulates a team for himself in the league. Then the top 8 goes to the Nedbank final as we are currently. So that's what we know about him. But we've seen glimpses of him frustrating big clubs, Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, where I think I could be wrong, but I think he was the coach at the time. I could be wrong if when Sukukune won against the Sundowns. Now, I just want, okay, he wasn't at the time. But Sukukune, that's the story I can bring, because having to have brought him as a coach. So what we can agree on is that there's been a sort of a planned way of them trying to establish themselves as a club here. They're not here to just add numbers. They're here to at least just be one of those clubs in the Premiership that goes to finals, that competes, that challenges for at least a player or two, because they've signed Abu Kamohelom coach, or they went for who's this guy was Ulitwalo was Victor Litwalo, who was a now we're getting to how the clubs have signed. So this is where you start to understand, when unpacking, that this is the kind of setup that we can actually make you understand that it wasn't a mistake for me to see Sukukune in the final. As much as Pirates comes with that pedigree as well, Sukukune, they are mending something that we can just give you that insight in actually understanding that those are the things you can look out for, and just be careful of the fact that thinking that just Pirates is going to be the obvious winner. It's a final. So looking at the two coaches, for me, they both don't have experience, but the experience that we can agree on is just that Uyose just has one cup. So he's won something with the club. So obviously they going for a double, but it won't be as easy against Upakis, because they now getting to the technical side, Pirates will be guns blazing. They'll be more of an attacking team for my end, because where you've seen the both teams, Pirates has enough quality players to unlock the defense, but Sukukune is very stubborn. I think what he has instilled there in the team is the discipline and the chemistry with Uchima and Okados and keeping them fit. He has done good there, I don't want to lie. So they have enough experience to at least make a case here. Challenge the Pirates. It's okay, guys. You guys think you're the favorites. Let's go. Sunbeam, let's go. So for me, it's all in. I wouldn't have an obvious winner. But on paper, we can say Pirates can win. Sukukune might lose, or it's likely it wouldn't be a shock. But we could look for a way of saying, I feel that the Pirates is going to go for more an attacking team. They're going to be looking at transition or playing with their wing and using crosses and set pieces, or maybe a penalty. We could see such drama, depending on who we find, who they put in midfield. But they have enough experience to at least ask certain questions. Because if Pirates, we know 3-4-3, let's start with Pirates, it's going to be a 3-4-3. We know Spies, they're going to use experience. I think the Tet is going to be given a start this time. I think if Maele is fit, he's going to be given a chance. And Spies, that 3. And I think, if I'm wrong, Nizongjed, but Tumaku is going back to right back. The team that's been winning. Mhlambe afuna ukufaka uHotongale, also his pedigree and experience, but if not, Tumaku will go that side. Afake Saleng ngale right. Afake Lodge is out, guys, so it's fine with Lodge. Oratom, I don't think he's going to be used this time around, because I think they were saving him, or they were saving players using him just to gain experience as well. So you might see a Kabilo Dlamini, Ndlondlo, given a chance that side. Then Skabunu Mnare, Tim, maybe Makaula, who knows? But I'm thinking first lineup is going to be Tim, 10, Kabilo Dlamini, up front. That's where it's going to be the difference. For me, look, Erasmus may be a chance or maybe a key player if he comes in or he comes in as a sub. Chugamanja may be the obvious player there, and Saleng on the right as well. So that's the kind of dynamics we can look into. But I think Kushandu is there as well. So you understand when I'm saying that Paris comes now with current form that we've seen, current quality players that they've actually assembled. Pirates, yes, there's two things now. The history of them knowing how to win cup games and also having to have win big games as well. Pirates come with those two advantages. Isukukune comes with an identity and saying they know how to frustrate or get results from big teams. They know how to get results, but the question is how. Because now, as we've seen now, the only way they can actually score or make a case or really come in, not even from the inside, because I don't think they have enough quality players to challenge them and have a midfield battle. That is enough for them to say that they have enough quality and backup if maybe one is off form, all this. And then someone from the bench can, or an individual balance, none. They'll just rely on, imagine their consistent scorer has been Uchima. Abombata, it's been chopping and changing in regards to who scores for Isikukune. That's why we can't even pinpoint where the chances or that one goal or that one glimpse of magic can come from. So I would say if we were to argue, that's where the advantage Pirates comes in regards to that. That's the only time we can see that, okay, Pirates, they have a case here. If a Pirates happens to apply themselves very well, like they've been doing, and they don't choke, then you could actually, I would say that Pirates would be well deserving to win that. But looking at the stats and looking at how they've actually qualified for this tournament, yes, they've gotten the results, but there was times where they got frustrated by these young teams. They really get frustrated, or the players maybe they win the game before the game starts or before the game itself. Like, because we are Pirates, psychologically maybe that could play a factor, and that's where Sekukune can actually win the game from my side. So you would leave comments, guys, in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. Tell me what you think, because this is how I am seeing it. This is how I see the game is going to be on. Looking at the technical or let's say the tactics kind of, or the technical side of things, we may see key players. Like for me, if that doesn't work, if obviously there's not enough ball rotation, there's not enough ball retentions, a lot losing balls a lot. You would see, you would look, but I think Saleng, Sebambonile, as much as we can say Saleng would be the key. I think Erasmus, him coming from Sundowns and having to have won cups before, he could be the secret weapon. We don't know. I remember against Chiefs, also he came with something out of nothing. So for me, it would be Saleng, it would be Erasmus and Mikel T. Mikel T in this kind of games, he switches up. Undlo hasn't really been the kind of player that we thought he could be, but he came with the assist as well. As a sub, we could see such things playing out. If it actually drags, maybe we'll see a goal second half if you don't see any fireworks in the first half. So expect that. But that is my opinion. You leave a comment for me, guys, and tell me. Let's have a conversation. Then the only thing I would leave is that Sekukune Uchima, for me, is the only key player I see from them. I don't see any other player really coming with skill, turn, combinations, coming and frustrating Paris, because like I said, it's been chopping and changing. So there hasn't been consistent players that we can actually identify with. I'm not saying there's not enough players that they can, but as a team, they've shown that they can. They've made it to the final. But let's see how they're going to apply themselves as well. And it should be exciting, man. It should be exciting. Let's see what's going to happen. And yeah, for me, that's all I have for you guys. Let me just check if there's nothing else that I forgot to talk about. But like I said before, please don't forget, like I said initially, if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy having a football conversation almost on a weekly basis, just know I'm going to be dropping. Like I said, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also click on the subscription bell, or the notification bell rather, so you can have this kind of content happening almost on a weekly basis. But for my side, thank you, Walter, your host again. Let's see. It's either next. Was it? Yeah, next week. Aspuna. Shap shap.